Eileo guys, and welcome back. In today's old video though, light and dark channeling have finally dropped. They are 4 stars, so let's go ahead and give it a go. Alright, so starting off here you guys, let's go ahead and start off with what the people want to see, which is obviously light and dark channeling because the other 3 have existed since MSL has existed. But anyways, we're starting off here with dark channeling, who is an attacker type, and he's coming in with 27k HP, 3.2k attack, and then 2.3k defense. Stat wise, nothing extravagant, pretty standard for a Nat 4, but do keep in mind that since he is a dark type, he does benefit from additional crit damage without applying anything to his skills. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the skills real quick. So he has double curse, it seems. Yep, so he has double curse, which is actually pretty good in my opinion. The issue with fulminating curse, like Dark Jiangshi for example, she works, but the issue with curse in general is that too many mons have fulminating curse when only maybe 1 or 2 of them max on the team should have curse. Well, fulminating curse, because fulminating curse gets rid of all curse stacks, and if you have a mon constantly refreshing those and getting rid of all those curse stacks repeatedly, well then you're in for a bad time because you can't get it to stack up and then take it all away at once, if that makes any sense. But 80% chance to inflict 3 types of curses on enemies for 2 turns, and then for his 5-star skill it's 90% chance for 2 curses on an enemy for 2 turns. I'm not saying curse is viable, but it's nice that this is a very good direction for curse to go in. I'm not sure if he's going to be rebirth for next month or not, but he could potentially be an interesting science experiment with curse once again, even though I visited that way back when. But skill book wise, he gets a 20% damage increase on the curse, and that goes to, what was that, 90% for the 3-star, which does have more stacks than the 5-star skill, and then the 5-star skill just gets a 25% damage boost. Not bad at all. The only issue here though is that even though that he's a dark type, do remember that curse scales off of, I just hit my mic, not my mic, but my popper stopper. But anyways, curse scales off of attack. So putting him on crit rate attack, even though he is a dark mon, isn't the end of the world. But if you wanted more damage from curse, then he needs to be on triple attack, which is already super risky because he's going to be super fragile. So it's up to you to make that decision. But overall, he's perfectly fine, at least in my opinion. Alright, moving on next, we have Light Channeling here, who is a defender type. He's coming in with 28k HP, 2.1k attack, and then 3.2k defense. Very similar to the Dark type, just a little bit swap stats, but he is a defender. Once again, nothing extraordinary, but you don't have to be extraordinary to be good. And with him being a defender, obviously damage isn't really his strong suit, so do keep that in mind. But we can see right here, both his moves are defense down. So for both his 3-star and 5-star skill, which is nice, 7% chance to reduce the enemy's defense for 2 turns. And let's see what the books. So books gets a 20% damage increase on the 3-star defense down, and that goes to 80%. Okay, so they both got 80% for 2 turns. That's still pretty potent. And if you do realize the fact that he is a light mon, I'm not going to say that he can replace certain mons on your Titan composition, but he's going to be less prone to taking damage against RGB Titans in the event that you need a defense down mon in that situation. Not to mention, I don't know how you guys are doing with Tower of Chaos, but this is perfect timing, especially if he comes out next month, because I'm in desperate need of a light mon that has defense down, preferably on their 3-star skill, because Tower of Chaos, at least the elemental one, right now is just an F word for floor 50, so having that defense down mon is probably going to be the only thing that I need really to get past that. But I mean, he's just a debuffer, very similar to the fire one, which I will actually bring up here next. But I think overall he's fine. He does follow suit to the fire one, but let's go ahead and take a go real quick and see if he actually beats the fire one out, and then I'll just continue on with the RGB reviews. I don't know why I said that weird, reviews, and you know, that video will just be gone. But anyways, Fire Channeling, he's an attacker type, and he's coming in with 2.8k attack and then 1.9k defense. you can go ahead and give him 2k defense. HP pool is about the same, but you know, you can already tell that the light is basically fire lantern, not fire lantern, but fire candling what he should be, if that makes any sense. Because even though he has double defense down, just like the light one, if you see right here is 60% chance for 2 turns. And if we go over here to the books, it goes to 7% chance for 2 turns, which is what the light one starts off with. His lack of defense hurts him in the long run, and while he does have a little bit more attack than a light one, defense down isn't used for damage. Like, it is used for damage because you're debuffing the enemy, but if a mon has double defense down and their attacker type, not saying fire candling is useless, but there's only so much damage you can get out of him. It's just simple because his moves don't promote a whole bunch of damage. They're there for debuffing and applying damage after the debuff has went off. But once the debuff has already been applied, it's like he's just doing, you know, basic damage. There's nothing extravagant or incredible like Hunter, even Unflinching Strike or Courageous Strike, etc. There's no added effect at all after defense down is applied. So I'm not saying that he's a bad mon, but it looks like the light one will be a welcomed member in terms of Titans, at least in my opinion. But I'm not a Titan Andy. I am nothing more than a filthy casual, so take my advice with a grain of salt, boys. Alright, and then moving on, next here we have Water Candling, who is also an attacker type. He's coming in with 25k HP, 2.8k attack, and then 1.8k defense. Slightly less defense and slightly less HP than a fire one, so that's already a big yikers right there, even though they are nat 3s. But let's take a look at his skills real quick. So he has double Stalker, which increases his critical hit rate by 20% without books, meaning... Sorry about that, but meaning essentially he needs 20% less crit rate, 20% less than 100 for him to hit his max crit rate, which is super duper helpful depending on the mon. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys already, this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. With skill books, it goes up to 30%, and then he has the base 20% for his crit rate, I do believe. So you need 50% crit to max him out in terms of crit. So it's very, very easy to get him on like a crit damage attack build. However, with 2.8k attack and literally no defense, and you know, I wouldn't say bad HP, but generic HP, you're not going to get much out of him. Why not just build a Water Mona? Why not just use the Dark Mona, especially if you're a newer player, that they give you for free? Like, you can build them if you want. I'm not sure where you're going to use them at, but in terms of overall usage outside of like early game, if you somehow acquire enough candlings to sacrifice for this one over the fire one, which is nothing but your choice, it's none of my business, I don't see how this is going to be super duper superb. Now, I know that the Nat 3 League does exist. However, unless you have poor gem quality, he's just going to be outdone by everyone else. Like, even like Water Crowhook. Water Crowhook can get on the same build as this. However, with Water Crowhook having Hunter, his 5-star skill will always do more damage than this Mons. Just throwing that out there, boys. And girls. Just throwing it out there. Alright, and then last, and definitely least, we have Wood Candling, who is a balance type. He's coming in with 29k HP, 1.8k attack, and then 1.9k defense. Balanced, HP's fine, attack and defense are a little bit lackluster, but he is a nat 3, so I won't be super duper hard on him. But let's take a look at his skills over here. He has Water Hunter, so he increases his critical hit damage against water mons only by 50%, and then he also comes in with Sap, which grants a 60% chance to inflict the enemy with Sap for 2 turns. Let's take a look at the books real quick. So Hunter goes up to 60, and then Sap goes to 70% chance for 2 turns. Very, very, very weird champ. Extremely weird champ. Why do I say that is weird champ? It's just like, because you have a mon that needs crit rate in order for its Hunter to work. Its Hunter is already situational because it only applies that damage boost against water mons, and dude doesn't even have 2k attack. Like, his attack set is abysmal for that Hunter. even with the Nat 3 League, I mean, it is still, I personally find that just a slap in the face. Like, it is just horrific. And then he has Sap to go along with that, which I'm not sure what you're going to do with a Sap and Hunter combo. I said this in the past video of this. This is just, he's just the Astro Guide, you guys. He's honestly just the Astro Guide. But that's one man's opinion. I'm not going to dwell on it too much because these guys have been out for a while, and the main subject of the video was obviously light and dark candling. But if I had to give them a preference, I would definitely say light would be number 1. Dark, I'm interested because of science, so I'm going to go ahead and say that dark is number 2. Fire is number 3. Water would be number 4, and then number 16,579 will be the wood one. But I'm excited to have him in a game. It's nice that we actually have a Nat 4 light and dark mon and not stupid like Nat 3s that are added to the eggs. Hopefully, if he comes around next month, I can pick up both light and dark for both my accounts. Mainly, I want that light one though for his defense sound capabilities and an elemental tower of chaos, because there's some F words up in there. But that's pretty much it, you guys. Go ahead and consider subscribing if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on the latest and the greatest in MSL. Join the Discord if you guys haven't already. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and yeah, see you.